Message time 12:39, actual time 2:39 p.m. You send to Sergeant Nkosi a message saying, Ngapeshe is grade B and has nothing in the documents.
Yes.
Mfowethu, please send to US and request him to provide him with information for the correction. We need grade A guards.
Yes.
Yes, so you did send those messages?
Yes, these are my messages and I did send them.
Yes, what were you doing?
So at this point in time, Sergeant Nkosi had sent me a document for another institution where they were preparing a bid. So it was a bid that they were busy preparing. I looked at the published tender document that was there, spotted the key requirements. Key requirements of that tender document was grade A, nothing to do with grade B. So I was saying, because I knew that the general would assist him on preparing bids in some way or form, they need to take it up with him so they can work on that together. This, I can assure you, was not in relation to TMPD1 whatsoever.
So your version is that the General, yourself, and Sergeant Nkosi were freelancing on the side for a tender for another government institution. Is that the version?
Not freelancing, providing bid clarification on the tender that they'd been working on.
Sorry, providing what?
Well, he had asked me to look at the clarification on the document that was there. I'm not freelancing because I'm not expecting any payment. I don't want any payment. I'm purely providing advice on something that they're interested in, SC.
So you are offering free tender advice to Sergeant Nkosi, and you're suggesting that he gets the assistance of General Dlamini, another employee of the city, to get more free advice on his tendering processes.
Of course.
That's correct.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Where do we see this other document or whatever was sent to you to advise on? Because you must have been working off something to saying Ngapeshe is grade B and has nothing in the documents.
Yes, yes.
To say we need a grade A guide,
Yes.
and then ask him to provide information for correction.
Yes.
You were working from what to be able to make those observations?
Yes, Commissioner, I had seen the actual tender document for that institution.
So how did you receive it? Was it given to you in hard copy? Was it sent on email? Was it sent on WhatsApp?
No, it wasn't.
Because so far, everything that you have about this transaction, it is on WhatsApp.
Yes.
How did you get
No, this
this
one,
other
he
document?
gave me a copy of it. The actual, the
gave
raw
it?
tender document, Sergeant Nkosi.
To assist who? Who was the bidder that you were assisting?
Ngapeshe, that's his brother.
Okay.
And the requirements of that was grade A. They didn't have grade A, so they were never going to qualify for that bid.
Yes.
Because they had grade B.
No, I am answered. You were assisting Ngapeshe. You had Ngapeshe's documents in front of
No,
you.
no, I didn't
when
have
you made
that.
these
Sorry,
observations.
I'm so sorry, Commissioner. I don't want to interject. Apologies. But I just want to I didn't have Ngapeshe's documents. I had a raw tender document that wasn't completed. I did not have Ngapeshe's documents. I had known that this requires grade A. They don't have grade A cards.
Yes, but you say in the message, you say Ngapeshe is grade B and has nothing in the documents. So you had Ngapeshe's documents.
Maybe just
The question is, which documents? You can't walk back this message. This message, clearly, you had Ngapeshe's documents. That's why you're able to say there's nothing in the documents.
with all due respect, I was referring to the tender document. I had a document. It was a raw tender document.
Why do you know that Ngapeshe has nothing in the documents if you're looking at a raw, what you call a raw, unnamed? It doesn't have anyone's name.
Yes.
If that's the document you have in your hands,
Yes.
how do you know that Ngapeshe is B and there is nothing in the documents?
So my point of reference and what I meant with this message, as you can even see, the sentence structure and the construction is not so good. However, Ngapeshe is grade B. There's nothing in the documents about grade B.
No, you're not saying that. You're saying, and has nothing in the documents. Ngapeshe has nothing in the documents. That's the only sensible way of reading this message. It has nothing to do with construction or misunderstanding. When you read this and you read it sensibly, you're saying Ngapeshe is grade B and has nothing in the documents. So you are working off Ngapeshe's documents.
Honorable Commissioner, I think I'm just going to clarify that again, because I know the document I was working on, and it was the tender document. I say here, Kapesha is grade B, and there's nothing in the document. So I meant that there's nothing in the document about grade B, because this particular tender required grade A, did not require grade B.
Okay.
Maybe it's how I wrote it at that point in time, but the interpretation and what I meant when I sent that, regardless of how quick I was and my inability to correct the sentence structure at that stage, but that's what I meant.
And when you say we need grade A guards, if you are not participating in this tender, who is the we? Why are you speaking as a party participating in a tender?
Yeah.
If you are not a party to it.
It's unfortunate, Chair, Commissioner, this is how we would normally refer to each other. There are many instances in the chat where I say ours, which should have been him, where he say ours, where it should have been me. So it was a way that we would speak. And there are many inferences that I can also show you in this, where I say can we, whereas it meant you. It was just a way that we adopted of speaking. It was an informal conversation.